Yes. No, that's fine. Good morning, Miss Lataka. I can't wait. All the time. He's going to jump in all the time. Oh, no, no, no. Hang on. Stop. No one updated you, and that was my fault. The custodians came in and said they are not waxing out there for us today, so we can still use those bathrooms. And I blew them both kisses as payment. Yes. Sorry about that. No. I don't know what these hallways are called, but he pointed that way and said he's waxing that way. I think so.
Or a mix between the two. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Whatever happens, I feel like that Seesaw is going to be a fantastic resource for us. So don't think it's something that we got just because of the potential of being home or things like that, because I think it's going to really raise engagement and feedback for our parents and for our students, no matter the situation. Okay. So that's just my 2 cents, and that's really why I feel like that Seesaw is going to be a huge, huge deal for us, and I'm so excited about it. And so that's all I have to say. I'm going to let Patty take it away. And Patty, if you will give us your introductions and understanding of your background in Seesaw, I know you will. and you just go however you want to proceed. All right, thank you.
All right, fantastic. First of all, I'm so excited about today, and sometimes my excitement and my enthusiasm comes across as like, I think you need to know everything I know, and I think you need to do everything I do, and I don't think that at all. So let's just go ahead and dispel that white elephant. Like, I do not think that at all. I'm just really excited about this, and I think that the more that you use it, the more comfortable you get, you are also going to be excited about whatever level you are on. But first, you woke up and you got here at 8 a.m. And so my afternoon group does not get my fun stickers because they didn't have to wake up early, but you get my fun stickers. And so we need to celebrate the little things, right? We need to celebrate everybody's little accomplishments. And I want to know, does anybody want to share your sticker? Amy Logan, I did not reciprocate, and I am sorry. Maybe that means I'm not as good of a friend. It's the little things. Anybody else have any accomplishments? My sticker wasn't over there. My sticker should have said, I cleaned under the couches yesterday. Like, I flipped them over. I got all the Nerf darts out, got all the dust out. It's been like a year. That was my accomplishment. I mopped the floors, I don't know. With 2 dogs, 4 cats, and 2 kids. Like, the floors, I can mop them, and they just, we live there. So anybody else, come on. Don't be scared to share your sticker.
I have one.
What do you have?
I only had 5 cups of coffee today, and I've lost my coffee. If anybody.
Uh-oh. Somebody help Joshua.
There's like a rogue cup of coffee on your table.
That's okay. You made more.
Yeah, I made more.
You made more.
Okay.
It's fine. Anybody else got a sticker? Yeah. I brought that just for Jamie Ricketts. I was like, some of these are a little racy, but we're all adults here, right? We're all adults here. No kids are here, yeah. Anybody else got a sticker? Does anybody else have a sticker that, like, it really should have been back there? Like my... I did not shave my legs. That's okay. You do you, Miss Mary. You are awesome, prickly or not. It's fine. Anybody else? Well, this was just like, oh, yeah, what do you have? I think a lot of us would grab that sticker a lot of days. We're faking it till we make it. We're just trying to get through. But is there anybody else that would like to share your sticker? You're just dying to share your sticker? That's okay. I will see them throughout the day, and they will bring me pleasure. So thank you so much for. Did anybody not lose your keys today? Did anybody lose your keys today? It's fine. Couldn't get out of the house because you couldn't find your keys because you haven't been out of the house in a week? Like, I don't know. That was me. So anyway, I think that SeaSaw does that for our students. This is funny, but SeaSaw actually gives them a way and an audience, and they're able to share what they know. So I do want to share with you how I got started in SeaSaw, and then I don't know how the elephant got the bad name out of all of the animal kingdom, but, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. There are white elephants in the room. Like, I don't know how the elephant got the bad name. But anyway, we're going to dispel some white elephants or try to make you feel better about them. But at the beginning of the 2018-2019 school year, first grade teachers, we had to dive into portfolios, and, we didn't have to just turn those into the district now. We had to turn those into the state, and it was like this, oh, my goodness, what are we going to do? And then the Tiger rubric was all about, or my area to grow was all about students seeing their growth over time. And it's like, how am I going to do that? Well, I was using Class Dojo, love Class Dojo, and they were promising portfolios, but I didn't know what that was going to look like. And so I kept waiting all summer for portfolios to roll out so I could figure out what's this going to look like, how am I going to use this? And it just kept not rolling out. Well, I was really wanting to use portfolios, so what do? We Google. So I was Googling, learning programs that use portfolios, and SeaSaw just kept coming up. Class Tag kept coming up, Blooms kept coming up, but SeaSaw kept coming up over and over and over. And so I went to Joshua, and I went to Chris Tenbarge at one of the TETA conferences, like for all the computer programs and stuff. And I was like, okay, here is my dilemma. I do not want to start the school year with something that I cannot finish the school year with. And if Class Dojo is not going to bring what I need to use Seesaw, but that's a big leap of faith, and I just don't know. And they were no help. They really, sorry, Joshua. Joshua was no help. He says, I was a fan of Seesaw. I really loved it since 2017. I came to you in 2018, and you were like, you got to make your own decision. So I took that leap of faith, and I jumped into Seesaw. I used the parent messaging, the announcements. I used that. And I posted work to the kids' journals myself that year, the whole year long. Parents reacted in a way that I have never had parents react before. They felt involved in the classroom. They were sending me notes of thanks and praise, and I can talk to my kids now. And I'm like, ooh, this is nice, instead of, I have no, what are you doing? Anyway, no, we don't have anybody like that. But so then the very next year, I was like, I wonder if my 6-year-olds could post to their student journals themselves. I was envisioning sideways pictures and zoomed in pictures and videos of them telling about what they ate for dinner that night. And I was like, I don't know if 6-year-olds can handle this. Like, that's really a big thing for them. But guess what? My 6-year-olds handled that. And they did an amazing job, and they blew me away, and they showed me what they knew in their own way, so that even over this remote learning or virtual, whatever we want to call what happened in March through May, they were able to show me learning. I was able to hear their voice. They were able to hear my voice. We were able to connect daily. And I think that made a big difference in my remote classroom. I'm excited to see what kind of difference the kind of things that I implemented March through May are going to have, what kind of impact they're going to have in my actual classroom, because I learned some things that I want to carry over. So that's kind of my background on it. I took a leap of faith. I didn't know what I was doing, and I bit off bites of that elephant one bite at a time. And that's what I want to encourage you to do. So I've been keeping up with Google Classroom, and if you've not been on Google Classroom yet, Joshua has been uploading videos that he is the one presenting about Seesaw. We all love to hear what Joshua has to say because he breaks it down for us and makes it usable and makes it to where we understand it. So kudos to you, Joshua. So he's been working on that. There, I think, are 4 videos up right now in small chunks of that elephant. But there have been some questions that have popped up. And if you're like me, and you came in here today, and there's this just nagging, like, I don't know, Patty, I don't know if I want to buy into this because there's this one little piece that's driving me crazy. I don't know about it. Because that's me when Joshua comes and talks about Waterford, and I'm like, I really have a lot going on. I don't know if I want to bite this part off, and I've got this nagging question that I really want to ask. He's in the middle of presenting, and it's just inappropriate. And so I have to try to work through that. But I don't want you to have to try to work through that. So let's go through these questions really quickly, and I will tell you more about them as we go along. What about parents that don't have a smartphone or computer? That is been a nagging question for people. So my response to that is, what have you been doing? If you use Class Dojo, if you use Remind, whatever you use, what have you been doing? Keep doing that. And I don't mean to sound like a smart aleck, but we're not saying that you have to use Seesaw exclusively. You can't send that paper newsletter home anymore. That's not what we're saying. We have to accommodate for what our families have, would you say? Right. Right. And if we do happen to have to go home again and learn, everybody will be issued a device. So mom and dad can check on that device, and I'll show you how easy it is to just toggle between those. Will we use Seesaw learning tool, or will we continue to use Google Classroom for that? So I'm going to volley that to you because you have a beautiful explanation. Right. We're not taking Google Classroom away at all. If that's what you want to use, keep using it. I would just encourage you to use Seesaw with that. Like in Google Classroom, I'm thinking about grade last year, Brandy Hayes would send work for him to do. She would send links to like Birdseed TV, and she would send links to Zetamac and things like that. Seesaw would be another link, like another, hey, go here and do this assignment, that kind of thing. So I think they can be used really easily together. How does Seesaw Translate work? There's been a lot of questions, and I think also a lot of misconceptions about this, and it might have been how I kind of came across in the video that I did, the initial video. So announcements, which is like family messaging, and notes, which I will show you, are the only two places that translate. You're not going to make a video and send it to that Hispanic family, and then all of a sudden you're speaking Spanish in the video. Like, it is not going to work that way. But you can send text to families. You will write it in English. They will receive it in English. They will hit the translate button, and it will translate to whatever language is on their device. They will answer you in their native language, send it back to you in their native language. You hit the translate button, and it translates to whatever's on your device that's your native language. So if you have French on your device as your native language, then you're going to receive a French response.
Oui.
Oui, oui. So that's how that part is going to work. If students share work through their Google Drive on Seesaw, will they have to go to their drive and share it with their families, or will it automatically be allowed to share on Seesaw? That was something I didn't know, so you challenged me. Thank you for that. You will upload it when you go to upload. Go to upload. You can upload from Google Drive, or you can upload from your computer, your machine that you're working on. If you upload from Google Drive, it's just like uploading a PDF or something like that. It you do not have to give permissions to do that. So when the students post work, where will it show up for me to approve it? I will definitely show you that. It's super easy. When we post with more than one child attached to it, this is a really huge question. And I think that will be in a lot of our minds. Do we need to make sure we leave kids' faces out of the pictures? So for privacy. My answer to that, because I've gone to administration, I went to the administration before Miss Allison, I went to Miss Allison, and the answer that I get is that if they sign that photo release form, you're good. If they sign the photo, so you just need to be mindful of who has signed that photo release form. And when you put it on the journals, it's private to only those people that you have connected to those journals, unless you use the blog, and then anybody can get that, but we'll talk about that. But if they've signed that photo release, you're covered. Concerned about asking families to download an app as the main form of communication, low memory capacity, or leery of downloading things, ability to connect on the computer. And I put, again, what have you done for those families in the past? Keep doing that, because y'all are awesome. What happens if they sign up with one number and then get a new phone? Seesaw is not connected to a phone number, so they'll log back into their account, or if they can't figure out their username and password, then you'll just send them home a new QR code. Simple as that. Or you can even send them a text or to their email. If another teacher connects to the child, do you receive notifications, or can you see what the other teacher has assigned? I teach first grade. I'm the only one that teaches my kids except for RTI. We'll fix that. Except for RTI. So I had to go to other people. I don't know this firsthand, but they say that, yes, they can see that. So can we directly add parents? Yes. They have to accept. But yes, you can directly add them. Can I send a message to only one family? No, you can choose to send messages to all families. You can send message to one parent. Those are your two options. Hopefully in the future, an update's coming where you can pick and choose who gets that. So like if you just need a set of families to get it, you can just send it to that set of families. Will new classes automatically be added to Seesaw? Yes. When a new student comes to your class, they get put in Skyward. At night, Skyward talks to Clever, Clever talks to Seesaw, and they'll be there the next day. Would it be more beneficial to use Seesaw exclusively over Google Classroom? I think that Joshua answered that. Pre-K through 2, yes, probably. 3 through 5, probably want to use both of them. All right, does anybody else have, I know that was a lot, I know that was fast, and we're going to go through it in more depth up here, but are there any other white elephants that you want, like you just can't get past? Fabulous. All right. So just while we're going through this, if you want to sketch a self-portrait on paper, it doesn't have to be detailed or beautiful, but we will be using this later. Here's what I want to do. So if you need to go to the bathroom or make a phone call, or we're all adults, we only have 3 hours together, you just get up and go, because I'm just going to keep going, if that's okay. Here's my plan. I always like a plan. I'm a planner. So this first hour or now 40 minutes, is going to be like an I do, we do. I do, we do together. Okay? Hour number 2 is going to be you do at stations around the room. Hour number 3 is going to be diving into those activities. How do we use them? How do we make them? How do we share them with each other so that we can share the workload? That's the plan. But just like in my first grade classroom, if you need to take it somewhere else, we'll go there. You know, if you need something different, let's go there. You got something, Joshua?
I found my coffee.
Oh.
Sorry.
That is important.
Look, there it is.
That is important.
Yes.
All right. So hello, I'm Patty. I've taught first grade and only first grade for 16 years. I love first grade. I teach at Sam Houston Elementary. I have been in room 43 for 16 years. You know, I love room 43. And I am a SeaSaw ambassador. And all that means, there are levels of SeaSaw. Okay, you can be just a user. You can be a SeaSaw pioneer. That's the next level, which I encouraged everybody in that email to try that out. From there, you can level up to a SeaSaw ambassador. It just means you know a little more, you use it a little more. And then after 3 years of a SeaSaw ambassador, you become a SeaSaw certified educator. So that's kind of the trajectory that I'm on. And I don't know how I did that. All right. So the plan for today, we're going to do the intro to SeaSaw. We've already done that. We're going to talk about the creative tools that are built in. You are going to explore as a student. I see that overachievers have already scanned your QR code. Y'all are awesome. Classroom activity ideas and questions and next steps. Now, this is what SeaSaw says we're going to do. This is what Patty Anderson says our joint goals for today are, you and me. I sent you my first joint goal, which is I want you to leave here with a higher comfort level and confidence than when you walked in the door. And that might mean that you move from here to here, and that's okay. And that might mean that you move from here to here, and that's okay. This is individualized, but what I want for us to do today, tomorrow, and every day this school year is to collaborate to formulate ideas of how to use SeaSaw tools for announcements and activities, because you have the ideas in your brain. I have first grade ideas, and I have what I think 3rd through 5th grade would need to do, but I have first grade ideas. I am better with you than by myself, and so I want us to work together. And also to collaborate, to formulate and share ideas for using and creating SeaSaw activities. That's a lot, and that's a mouthful, and we'll eat that elephant one bite at a time, like Joshua likes to say. I'm not going to do that video. All right, so what is SeaSaw? Well, it's student portfolios, it's formative insights, and it's family communication. It's all of that kind of wrapped up in one. And remember, I told you, I started with just family communication and me controlling student portfolios. And that worked for me. And if that's where you want to take it this year, I encourage you to do that. If you want to get brave and let the kids do it, they do a great job. Unlock creative thinking for all students in any subject. Students explore a variety of powerful tools to show what they know in the way that works best for them. I need one of those little clicky things. I wouldn't know how to use it, but I need one. Browse thousands of engaging activities ready to use within SeaSaw. And so this is what your SeaSaw like activity library, you know, I said during the K2 day when we all got together, the CKLA day, I said, think teachers pay teachers, okay? But it's free and it's on SeaSaw. So you just get these activities, and we all get teacher pay teacher stuff. We all do it. And then we take it and we make it our own, right? And we add our own twist to it and our own spin to it. Well, or I can just grab that worksheet because I have a sub and put it on the copy machine, and here's 20 copies of this. Just let them do whatever it says. Same thing here. You can use the activity as written, or you can change it to make it what you want it to be. All right, so how does Seesaw work? So students are going to use the tools to capture and demonstrate learning. The teacher, and I'm going to put like, and parents, teacher and stakeholders, let's put that there. Get valuable insights into what students understand without extra work. Families see their child's work and leave comments and encouragement. And that piece, I cannot even tell you how, it's such a simple concept, but how mom and dad saying, great job, or I love the way you did this, or boost a child's motivation to do better. Like, it's incredible, even when they're 6, especially when they're 6. Okay, so let's just like dive into this. Now, this is the I do part. We're going to get to the we do part, so forgive me for bombarding you with all of this information. So this is one example of how you could use Seesaw for student work. I say it is. There we go. Oh, that's no good.
Hold on.
All right, hang on. Joshua and John to the rescue. There we go. Okay, so just real quick, let's talk about what happened here, because I know you're saying, oh, that's really great. Thanks, Patty. What did they do? So they took a picture of these Unifix cubes. It's just on a table or on the floor, snap. The picture uploads into Seesaw. Then they take the drawing tool and the video tool. So they start, the audio tool. So they start recording themselves, and they can annotate while they record themselves. Super easy to do, and I'm going to show you how to do it. But did you hear the child correct himself in here? What's our goal? Is it for them to have a beautiful piece and the right answer, or for them to get the wrong answer and self-correct? Like, what would be, like, what? Yes! Like, what would be that for you? The self-correcting and getting to hear that. So I love that powerful example. This next one just blows me away, probably because I teach 6-year-olds, but listen to this.
This is the circuit I built. The parts of my circuit are the switch, the battery, and the fan. When I first put my circuit together, it was not working. The problem was, up here, I realized that the positive and negative charges were in the opposite place. So I had to flip this piece around, and when I did that, it created a circuit that worked. It let the battery flow through to the fan. My next step is to make it lift off from the ground.
Now that's our exemplar piece, right? Is anybody impressed with that? So the way that this happened is the child made the circuit in science. Took a picture of the circuit that was made hands-on in science. The child added text using the text feature, and then started recording audio. Well, the text was down here, remember? So while he's recording audio, he's moving the text around to label what he's got here, the circuit, and then he starts drawing to tell you about what's going on. Did you see his cursor going all over the place? He grabbed his cursor tool and he starts telling all about it. Your kids can do that. Like, and that is exciting. And maybe they're not going to do that on August 3rd, you know, but by February, by March, you know, when they really get used to this, and like I'm like pushing it just for comfort. I really feel like by October, November, like this could be a possibility for them just being able to use these different pieces. And you're going to be able to use them, and you're going to be awesome at it. All right. Let's jump back in here. Oh, I don't know what's going on. All right. So we heard students reflect, apply vocabulary and concepts, problem solve, and plan next steps. Are there any science teachers in there that were just really excited by that? No? Okay. Tough crowd. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. So how am I going to use Seesaw? Well, you can use shared devices. This code that I have on everybody's table is what you're going to use if you have shared devices, okay? So you've got iPads in your room. You've got shared Chromebooks in your room. You're going to display, or I keep mine in one of those magnetic pockets. I keep like 5, one for each table. Of course, I'm going to keep more now, but we all can't touch everything. But I kept 5 in the magnetic folder. And so when it came time to use Seesaw, the table leader would go to my magnetic folder, grab the QR code out of the pocket chart. Everybody at the table would snap that QR code. The leader would take it back. It was just a really easy way for us not to have papers everywhere. If you have one-to-one devices, then what you are going to do is go through Clever. All the kids are going to go through Clever. Now, if you have shared devices, the kids can also go through Clever. And that's probably going to be the way that you want to go about things, but you can use that QR code or text code. Like, I can see myself creating a Tiger Time class and using it with my Tiger Time kids. I don't need that class, but for 4.5 weeks. And so or 3 to 4.5. So I'm not going to ask Joshua, can you create this class for me? I'll just create that class myself, let him sign in with a QR code, and then when we're done, we're done. And I archive that class. So that there's a place for everything.
And just to jump in there, Patty, if they are in a class in Skyward and we want that class to come over into Seesaw, then we can make that happen. It's going to be the situations where you want a class that's not reflected in Skyward that will be used for that.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in, friend. Okay, so peeking inside of Seesaw, I'm going to actually do this with my own Seesaw account. That's not what you need right there. All right, so let me show you Seesaw in my account. And we're going to mess around with some buttons a little bit. All right, so Joshua and John, because I guess of how big my screen has to be to project, I can't see everything I need to see.
Okay, let's see if we can work on that.
Okay.
Let me try that real quick. We getting better?
That is so much better.
Okay.
Thank you.
There you go.
All right. Fantastic. So when you log into Seesaw, if you've logged in as a teacher today, you do not see this. You probably see not that. You probably see something like this. If you've logged in for the first time, you probably see something like this. And it's going to have a little video that you can watch to kind of walk you through an introduction of Seesaw. And then you do not have to log in right now. We will, I promise. And then over here, you have the title of your class. You'll have that you're the teacher, and this differentiates between the student view and the teacher view. This over here is going to be where all of your children's names are. So let's go to my class of 2031 that I use. Nobody's going to take my children's names and do anything nefarious with it, right? Okay, then you can see them. All right, so you can see all of my kids are here, and I have some options up there at the top. We're going to walk through all of these together. Joshua always encourages, let's just punch buttons. And so that's what we're going to do. I want to show you what you can do. You have a lot of control, a lot of power, and you need to know where you can find this control and this power, okay? So the first place you're going to find control and power is by clicking on your name in the upper left corner and the settings. This is universal for go here to change things, right? That's the settings. So you can go into your settings, and you'll go to account settings. And this is very small, but this is where, like, my friend Shay, her first name is Ruthanna. It's in Skyward as Ruthanna. She goes by Shay. So she can come here, and she's going to change her display name for her families because she wants to be Shay Wynn and not Ruthanna Shay Wynn. So you can change your display name. If you want to just be Mrs. Ashley, that could be your display name. If you go by Miss B, Karen Brockett in our school, she's Miss B. If she wants to put Miss B, that's fine. You change it to whatever you want. You can have a little icon. I have a picture of Camden and me. I have my ocean theme. I like that color blue, but if you like something different, you can do, so all the pretty things that we like to do is there. You can put your phone number in there. Notifications. Everybody's wondering, okay, I don't think I want parents getting notified about everything all the time. This is where you're going to change that. Play around with it. See what works best for you and your families. But you can see you can have class notifications. That says email notifications. I would not highlight that. You will get an email every time anything happens in your Seesaw classroom. You do not want that in your life. iOS, Android notifications, that's where you get the little red button that has the number in it. Okay, you probably do want that. SMS notifications, that's text. It's going to send a text to your phone. Hey, this got updated. I turned that off on mine. Tips, tricks, and Seesaw updates. You know how we get all of those emails? Try this, try this, try this. And we're like, return to sender or take me off this email list. Don't do that to yourself. Do yourself a favor and turn that on so that you get all those tips and tricks. That's how I learned so much. You have these parent notifications. I know that was a concern. And email notifications. Look here. You can email everything that you ever send out in real time. That's all. Once per day. You want them to receive an email once per day or never. Now, on their end, they can also decide. You don't have that. Joshua, okay, so
I'll go push some buttons. Give me a
Joshua's
minute.
going to push some buttons. I'm so proud of you guys for
Okay. Who doesn't have that? I can see.
really.
Okay.
I don't know what's going on. I am not in charge of that part. Okay, so anyway, when Joshua gets this going for you, the parents also have the same type settings where they can say they want everything, or they only want something once a day, or they never want anything. And you as the parent, how many people have children that are going to be in pre-K through 5 using Seesaw this year? Okay, so I encourage you to get in your parent app or get on the parent side of your account and play around. And that way you can teach the rest of us how all this works. All right, so push notifications for parents, that's that little red circle. SMS notifications, they get a text. So manage children, remove children. I tried to remove children, then they came back because Skyward reintegrated. So Joshua, all of those children that we removed are back.
All right.
Okay. This is so fun. Download journal archives. This is what I love best about Seesaw. If you're a mom in here and Precious brings home all those papers, and over the year, Precious has brought home all those papers, and you have to tell Precious, we can't keep all those papers, that is heartbreaking, right? And so if you're like Jackson, he's like, why do I even do this anyway? And he's 13, and that's a whole other thing. But Seesaw journals, you download the drive, Mom, at the end of the year, and everything is on there, and it's organized, and it's in a folder, and you open the folder, and it says August, and you click on August, and it shows everything Precious did in August, and then you click on February, and it shows everything Precious did in February, all of the audio, all of the video, all of the memories. and none of them miss. So that's just fabulous. And then manage archive classes. So you can see 2018, I didn't lie to you. That's the very first class that I had. And I can go back and I can get that class out. And I might today to show you some really cool stuff that we did that was really easy, but not right now. So, yep. You know what? I have all those too, Joshua. Why do you
Well,
want to take
a couple things right now. You are looking at you are looking at last year's data just because I froze that, so we'd have something to look at. And to start next week, I'll roll it back over and it will refresh with new schedules. But we have choices in what classes you want to have visible to you. So I'm imagining in pre-K through second-ish, maybe you just want the one class. But then if you are going to switch classes and you want to have your reading class, and because it's a mixture of two different homerooms, whatever, we can make it show whatever you need to show. So if you have more than you need, just use the one. And we're going to be looking at related arts. How can they have a shared class and things like that? So for right now, if it's a little too much going on, we can shave that down, but start with just your homeroom. And then we'll branch out from there as we need to. But on the parent side, the parent will look at the notifications, the work that's posted, the interaction, just from whatever avenue you choose to use. And so if we have, if like say there's a fifth grader and they've got a reading language arts class and then a math class, so different teachers are sharing and posting work through those different avenues. Does that make sense? It did in my head. Did? Okay.
Okay. So the next area you're going to go to control everything in your classroom is the gear wrench in the upper right. So if you're with me and you want to click on the gear wrench, this is probably where you're going to spend most of your time setting up your classroom the way that you want it set up. So you have your class name. You can always change that. I chose class of 2031 because I felt like, first of all, I didn't know we were all going to go to SeaSaw, but I felt like that would keep me from getting confused from year to year. But now I'm going to have to think of a new naming scheme because we can't all have class of 2031 in there. Your grade level, managed teachers. A lot of you have asked, what about co-teachers? You know, I teach with somebody else. Managed teachers in your gear wrench is where you're going to invite them. Let me say this, and please share this with the people on your teams if this is something that's interesting to you. Joshua and I went back and forth. Do they need their own classes, every teacher? Should they just share classes? And here's what I said to him. I'm on these Facebook groups where teachers kind of vent their frustrations and what they love about SeaSaw. One of the big frustrations is you get a person who checks SeaSaw regularly, approves all of the assignments regularly, so that red circle goes away. Does anybody else have like a red circle phobia in here? Okay, but then their co-teacher, who is equally as wonderful, does not check it near as often. So the little red circle is going to be on there for the teacher that does, and so she doesn't know, are those my red circles? Do I need to do something about that? Are those her red circles? So it really depends on your personality. If you can let that go, I feel like joining together is probably the best avenue for you, but if that's going to be a deal breaker, everybody probably needs their own class. So it's a personal preference kind of thing, but if you guys decide you want to do it, here's where you go. Gear wrench, yes. That's the beautiful thing. They've got one ID, one number ID. And so when Skyward talks to Clever and says, this student is now a Sam Houston student or a Colesbury student, then they'll show up in that teacher's, right? And their whole journal comes with them. Their whole journal comes with them. Okay, so gear wrench, manage teachers. That's what you do for that. Now, here's where your bread and butter is, okay? Where you control the kids. Because I had Ina. Ina's brilliant, okay? So smart. She can figure out anything, except how to get in from the rain, but she can figure out most anything academically. So Ina figured out how to comment on her friend's work. She loved to post everything she did to the blog. And she liked to put assignments in there, like tell her other friends some assignments that they needed to be working on. Okay. So I had to go in because of Ina, and I had to limit the settings in all of my classes. So here's where you're going to do that so that Ina doesn't comment on everybody's work, because I'm all about like empowering and encouraging each other, but sometimes it gets to be a little much. So student likes and comments, you're going to click on this if it gets to be too much, and you're going to turn off that little enable student likes. Of course, you probably wouldn't do that, but you might turn off enable student comments. You know, you might not want them commenting on it. Unfortunately, you can't just ban one child, you know. So this one, friends, is so important. New comments require approval. You want to have that turned on so that if you're posting to the blog, you know, you can decline all the times that Ina wants to post pictures of herself in the shadows telling a joke, because that happens sometimes. You can also turn on whether students can see each other's work. I feel like that is a classroom preference. If you have a classroom where, you know, everybody plays nice and everybody's encouraging, by all means turn that on. But if you have a classroom where, because we're fifth graders and we don't like anybody, then you might want to turn that off. Or you might want to use it as like, hey, these things hurt people's feelings. And so anyway, I don't know how you do it in fifth grade. That's why I teach first. So new items require approval. Enable item editing. We're back to Ina. Ina figured out that she could go in after I had already approved her work. She could go in and change her work. Okay, so if you enable item editing, kids can go in and do that. It's usually not a problem. It really is not a problem, but I had to turn that one off. Enable sample student, I would enable that sample student, because when you're not sure what it's going to look like or how it's going to come across, you give that assignment to that sample student, and then you can go in there and figure that out. I also use sample student for modeling. This is how we do this. We're going to use our sample student. Enable family access. Go into yours right now and make sure that's on so that you can send.
I think I pushed enabled that for everybody.
Okay. Joshua took care of that for us. Yeah. Students can post to blog. We're going to talk about the blog a little bit, but I'm not going to talk about it a lot of bit, just a little, but I'm going to let Joshua right now kind of tell us what he feels about the blog.
All right. Okay, on the blog, so think about the communication flow right now. It's going to be that parent seeing their own child's work, right? They're not seeing other children's work. The blog enables you to have a platform where you can showcase a child's work for everybody. So you can kind of make shout outs and highlights and say, this is the best of the best, and I want to share different children's work with the entire class. To me, that's what that allows you to do. Or even Aunt Sally and Uncle Joe that don't necessarily want to be connected to everything, but want to be able to kind of follow the class. The blog allows you to do that, to have a wider audience. You can still password protect that blog, so you can keep it private, but it just allows parents to be able to see work from more than just their child.
Yeah, and blog to me, when I first learned about it, I was like, oh, a place where you go and you type out your thoughts and then everybody reads it. It's different than that. So if that's what's in your mind right now too, it's different than that. Like Joshua said, and I'll show you, when you have a work submission that a student has done and it's an exemplar or just whatever you want to post on the blog, there's just a little button that you punch and it just goes up to the blog for everybody to see. It's just a shared spot. So, sorry. You have all kinds of blog settings in here. I encourage you to check those out. Folders, manage folders. A folder is a place where work is housed. Some teachers, it doesn't bother them if everything is not in a nice, neat folder. Some teachers, it does bother if it's not in a nice, neat folder. Seesaw is for everybody. You can upload it, and it just goes into their journal general. You can upload it into their journal, into a folder in their journal. Think like on Google. You have a folder, and then you can have a folder within a folder, and it's the same thing here. So I'm not really sure like why it's coming up this way, but you can see I have a 100th day folder, beginning of the year documents, calendars and lunch menus, Christmas, clever codes, countdown to summer, and it tells me how many items are in each folder. I can create a new folder by tapping this button right here. I can select my color and name the folder. This is going to be really important for you when you post student work and when kids post their own work, because you can say, I want you to complete this assignment, I want you to put it in this folder. And so they can do that on their own, and I'll show you how they do that. This is where you decide, do the kids have access to choose the folder? I let my 6-year-olds do it because it's so easy. If they choose the wrong folder, it's really easy to just fix it. And I'll show you how to do that. I didn't know that at first, and I made them redo everything. Bless their hearts. But I figured out a cheat, and so I'm going to share it with you. So I would enable students and teachers can put things into folders. But if you don't want that, you can just choose teachers, and that's fine too. This is your world. Okay, skills. Skills are, think standards. Okay, we'll upload our standards. And if you want to use skills, go for it. If you want to play with using skills, go for it. I can see me use, I've not used it before, but I can see me using it come report card time. I can just click on a skill, see if that child's mastered it, and put it on the report card. And then at parent-teacher conferences, at IEP meetings, at PIT meetings, I have data to back up what I've done. So that's how I can see myself using skills. But you can also rate these skills. So, you know, if you are, K through third grade teacher in here and you speak the Dibbles colors language, or if we all take benchmarks and you speak that language of, red, yellow, green, and blue, this is for you. You can rate it. Are they not on level? Are they approaching level? Have they benchmarked? Are they above level? And it'll be right here. The other...
Can I say something about skills?
Yes, please.
Seesaw will allow us to upload a list of skills, and they have a nice template for that. I'm still working on finding a nice layout that will work to upload all the skills. So my hope was to take all of our Tennessee standards for each grade level, for all the subjects, and to be able to push those up there so that they're already there. So you don't have to create something. Right now, if you go there, it's blank. Just know that's on the roadmap. And if anybody wants to help drive down that road, let me know. I can use a little help. So, but yeah, I would like to have it all uploaded. And then if you wanted to add skills above and beyond just the standards, that'd be up to you. But I'd like to push up everything.
Sounds good. And then down here, just other, when you take a picture using the camera built into Seesaw, do you want it saved to your camera roll? I do not. I turn that off. And then the video quality, I don't know anything about that. And so I just let it default to whatever it defaults to because I don't know anything. I have to contact Joshua or my husband if I need to know things like that. So your gear wrench and your settings are going to be where you have control over your Seesaw classroom. And my Seesaw classroom and limitations or what I allow might look different than what Becky Carson's looks like. And all of ours might look different than what a 5th grade teacher's looks like. And that's what's so beautiful about Seesaw. But what's not going to be different is what the parents see and get. So it's going to be different for us, but it's not going to feel different for them if they have a 1st grader and a 5th grader. So that is, that's a beautiful thing about it. Okay, so let's just really quickly kind of go through all these. And I'm not going to go through all these in depth because we're going to go through them as we go. Journal. That all of these children are in my class. I click on one of my children and it takes me directly to their journal. But I'm going to come over here. Do you see anything over here? You see nothing over here. I didn't see anything over there for a long time either. And I'm like, how do I get to just this one journal? Okay, so there's a folder hidden over here. And I'm going to click right here. Oh my goodness. Do you see this folder that popped up? That's ugly. And they need to put it out there for everybody. Just an icon of a folder so you don't have to find this. But I'm going to click on Brant's folder. And look, all of my folders come up. And I can find Brant's science that he did 4 weeks ago because I don't have to weed through everything. So just remember your hidden folder that's right there. It took me a long time to figure out that little nugget. Now, let's talk about Seesaw and remote learning just like this long, okay? You see all these dates over here? I don't know if we're going to have to take attendance. I don't know anything that you don't know. So, but if we do have to take attendance, okay, this is going to be one way to manage that because it shows you the last login date for every student. I don't know if we're going to be told how to do it or what, but that's an option. So here's the activities. I click on the activities, and I can do all of these things. Browse activity library, okay? I'm going to go through there, and I'm going to see everything that's in there, but not yet because that's hour 3. Inbox. This is where your messages from families are going to come. And at the beginning of the school year, I don't know, you may be really great at like matching kids to the people they belong to, but I am not. And so I love how Seesaw has mom's name and then Jada's name right under there so that it's just an extra layer of connection for me about who belongs to who. And I can imagine as an administrator that has 700 children to deal with, this would be a beautiful feature for an administrator. I can choose to send a student announcement to all students. I teach 6-year-olds, so not much. I don't use that very much. I can see a 3rd through 5th grade teacher using that a lot, though. Family announcements. If I want to send something to all my families, LSSD is, giving out food at these locations, or here's my newsletter, or whatever. I go to family announcements, and then see this little plus sign at the bottom? Send family announcement. I click on my little plus sign. Does everybody have a plus sign? Oh, okay. Well, then just look at mine. We'll just look at mine. So you have what looks like, oh, I need to send an email. I need to send a message. And then you have to choose send to again. Who do you want it to go to? All students, all family members, all students and family members. I typically just send to all family members. I can choose down here to add an attachment. And these tools right here are the very same tools you're going to use to create activities. They're going to be the very same tools the kids use to do those activities that you create. They're going to be the very same tools that you're going to use to upload documents for mom and dad, links and videos. These are universal across all of Seesaw, which makes Seesaw our friend. It's just a very friendly program. And we're definitely going to get into all those. But then after you send it, this was a question. Where does it go? Does it go to the top? Does it go to the bottom? It's like a Facebook feed. That's how somebody on Google Classroom put it. But all of the new stuff is at the bottom. Your newest message is going to be at the bottom. Now, here's the thing about messages. Has anybody ever sent a remind message and been like, oh, that was the wrong date? Or, oh, I shouldn't have done that. I misspelled that, or capital letters in the wrong place. If you haven't, you're not OCD like me, and that's okay. So you go to the 3 little dots, okay? Your friends, the setting gear, the gear wrench, and anywhere that it's got 3 little dots. Those are your friends, okay? So you come to your 3 little dots. You can edit the announcement. You can copy the announcement text, and you can delete the announcement. So here's where I think that these two are pretty self-explanatory on how you would want to use that. Copy announcement text, here's how I envision that being used, because I can't pick, I want John and William and Betty's family to get this message, but I don't want anybody else. Okay, I type the message once for John, and then I copy announcement text, and I go over to Betty's, and I'm going to paste that for her mom. And then I'm going to go over to so-and-so's, and I'm going to paste that for his mom. And it is an extra step and headache until they get all of that figured out, but it still is helpful. You don't have to type it over and over and over. So what are the 3 places that we're going to go when we need help or to control something? Man, y'all are so smart. Y'all are so good. All right, so school announcements. This is new to me, okay? If you are an administrator, you are going to be able to push out an announcement to the whole school using the very same tools that the rest of us are. So you're going to be able to upload documents. You're going to be able to put links on there. You're going to be able to put that silly video on there of you getting the pie in the face because we reached our goal for our cookie dough fundraiser. Okay, you're going to be able to do all of those things, and it's going to come right here. Now, the administrators, I can't see it because I'm not one. But the administrators can choose to send a message to students, to teachers, to families. They can choose their audience. So maybe administrators, I don't know how they're planning on using it, but they may be communicating with you now through SeaSaw. I'm not really sure, but they have that capability. All right, skills. Let's go over to skills. This is what Joshua said it's going to look like. See, it's blank. No skills are tagged. But look down here at the bottom. Joshua's going to upload all these skills, but maybe you have skills that you want to put on there for yourself in your classroom. You can do that. This is not something that's going to be erased every night when Skyward and Clever and SeaSaw talk. This is something that's going to be in your classroom. So you can add your own skills in there. Here's the blog. I put our school memories video. Here's Ina in the shadows telling her joke. So I've been really like upfront and transparent with you guys about that.
But John loves it.
John liked it a lot.
John loves it.
So there's Ina in the shadows telling another joke and another joke. I allowed 3 and then I cut her off, and I'm like, you know, we've got to let other people tell jokes too, okay? So you can see down here. Yeah, so this was one of our end of the school year things. Yeah, so here John has recorded a comment because SeaSaw is amazing because kindergartners can't type all of this, right? Like that's ridiculous to expect them to do unless you're Ina. And so they can voice record what they want to say to each other. You can voice record what you want to say to them. It's really beautiful. So, John, I love it, even if I sent it. Like, he is so self-aware. Jay says, ha, 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 that's a good one. And so, see, it says see translation. So, we could click on the, I don't know what's going to happen if we do that. John says LOL, and Ina, okay, so this is an example of a silly blog post, but you can see how it might be used. Like, you could upload something academic, and then they could all have an opinion on it. Or you could upload, I can see myself uploading like a false equation and having them debate underneath it, like whether it's true or false and why. And, you know, I don't know. Just let your mind go. And then over here, you can also see blog posts from every child. So you can click on it. Y'all. Okay.
What did the ice cube say to the other ice cube? Nice to meet you.
Let's see what else Ina says.
What did the left plate say to the right plate? Lunch is on me. Why did the chicken cross the playground? Because he wanted to go to the other slide.
And she was performing all day. For sure. Okay, so we've kind of gone through everything that's on here, and now I want to actually jump into you being a student and you using some of these activities. So it's going to require all of my overachievers to maybe do some things. So if you have logged in, if you are logged in as a teacher right now, you are going to need to log out. But let's go through that together and how to do that. So first you're going to sign out as a teacher. So you're going to go up to where it says Mrs. and then your name or where it says Jamie Ricketts or Cindy Spickard. And then you're going to click on it, your gear, and sign out. If you're in as a teacher. If you already scan that QR code and you're in as a student, you just sit tight. It is through your Clever. Go to your Clever page, and Joshua has already set that up for you. You go through Clever.
All right. There you go.
If you need help signing out, let me know.
Good, 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 good. There you go. Good. Yep. I think we're good. Most of them.
Yep, you're going to click I'm a student. No. No, you're going to code. Or you can do the text code that I'm about to show you. All right.
I'll help you.
When you sign out, click back on I'm a student and don't do anything else. Don't do anything else. You little Inas in the room. You little Inas. Yeah, don't do anything else unless you're already there. If you're already there, it's fine. You've already done it now. You've already done it.
I just click all the buttons. All right, try it now.
You're perfect.
Yeah.
Just click that X. Oh, wait.
Not far at all.
No, you're good. No, you're fine. Just click that X. It's just trying to confuse
We
you.
put it on
Not
that
today,
spreadsheet that I have
Satan.
to use to upload.
Huh? Yep, just leave. Nope. Will you just leave? Just leave it. Just leave it. You're good.
We can make it however we want it to look.
All righty.
I got the PD session, but I want to log in.
So you should be at the spot right now
You're good. Just stay right there.
that has where you're going to sign in as a student. And I want to show you something. This is why I didn't let you go any further. So look on a friend's computer if a friend is still on the page where you sign in as a student. Let's look down where we're going to invite all of our friends on. Now, Joshua has put everybody in there through Clever. Okay, so if the child is a student in Sam Houston or in Coles Ferry or Castle Heights or Byers County, they are going to be there for your homeroom class, for whatever's in Skyward. But if you want to create that Tiger Time class, pay attention to what we're doing now. This is how you're going to do it. So I'm down here on the plus and the students, and I'm going to click on that. You don't do it. Okay. So then this is going to come up. When you click on plus and student, hang on just a second, girls. You click on plus and student. It's going to have directions for how to get into that class. If I was in the class of 2031, you would get put in that if you follow this. I had to change my class, so I changed it to our PD class. If you have something weird coming up that's got a lock at the bottom and it won't let you scan that QR code, you are not stuck. You are going to put in the letters all uppercase, VKZILT. And it says enter text code here. VKZILT, where it says enter text code here.
You're good. You're already there. Just wait right there.
It's okay.
You're a step ahead.
Anything is fixable, right? It's fine. No, you're in? Okay. Oh, gotcha.
Okay. Good.
All right, are we all here? Does anybody else need a little bit of
Coming.
guidance? Okay. I really don't know. You try it both ways and you let me know. I don't know. Yes, you are. Okay, here we go. Let's say that you're teaching kindergarten babies and you want them to have one of those little posters that I gave you to scan, or you're teaching some fourth graders and you want them to have that poster. See where it says print student sign-in poster? That's where you're going to get that. Okay? Print student sign-in poster. And this code that you just typed in is only good for an hour. As long as you're in, and it's fine. But at every hour, it's going to regenerate a new code. Okay. So everybody grabbed a number. Is anybody that doesn't have a number? That's what students you are today. Joshua, can you grab a number for Tricia, please? So that's what student you are today. From the sign-in table.
I'm so sorry.
If you need a number, we'll
go.
get you a number.
No, it was confusing up there. There you go.
I need another one for Miss
Okay.
All right, I think we need some up here, Joshua.
Okay. Go.
I think Joshua's handing them out.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I didn't bring prizes today, so these numbers are not for a raffle. Sorry about that.
Okay. About
Sorry. Maybe we can still be friends.
Okay. Oh, Patty, I'm out of numbers. I'll see if I can make some more.
Uh-oh.
Keep going.
Okay. It's really not a huge deal if you don't have your own number. It's really not a huge deal. Okay. So this is the we do part, okay? This is the we do part of everything, and then we're going to move into the you do part of everything. But for the we do part of everything, we're going to check out our first creative tool. The easy one is going to be the photo tool. So if you would like to try this on your phone as well, all you do is download the Class app, and you're going to scan the QR code with your phone as well. So if you want to see what does this look like across devices, because you're right, some kids are just using mom and dad's phone, and that's what they got. And it looks different on a phone. You see less on a phone than you do on a Chromebook. You see it a little bit different on an iPad than you do on a Chromebook. So you want to see what that looks like. I like to, if we're going with the school of thought that you're going to be the one in charge of posting to their folders, while they're working, I have my phone, and I'm walking around, and I'm snapping pictures on my phone, and I'm uploading them to the SeaSaw journals. So, you know, Mr. Benson walks in, and I've got my phone. I might get in trouble, but when I show him the cool things my kids are doing, he might forgive me. I don't know. So here's what we're going to do first. That is not what we're going to do first. Okay, so I want you just to find a 3D shape somewhere in the room. It can be your water bottle, your phone. Well, wait just a sec. We're not there yet. I just want you to find your 3D shape ready first. Okay, so you are going to click the plus button. Well, hang on. Nope. Sorry. Okay, so here's the screen. And don't click the plus button. I want you to go to your activities. I'm so sorry. Do not click the plus button. I'm getting into the you do, people. That's no good. Okay, so go to your activities, and you are going to come down to the Find a 3D Shape activity. And then let's just, oh, well, if you did not log in.
Let me take care of that, Patty.
Okay.
Keep going.
Yeah, I'm not real
I'll
sure.
take care of it.
Thank you, Fran.
No problem.
Okay. I should have written it on the board. I don't know. Okay, so let's talk about what your kids see. This is an assigned activity from me, the teacher, to you, the student. And I took this, I didn't make this, I took this out of the activity library. It says three-dimensional shapes like cylinders, cubes, cones, and rectangular prisms are all around us. Then it tells exactly what to do. Okay? Tap the add button. Now, don't do it yet, but tap the add button. Take a photo of a 3D shape you see. tap the green check and add to your portfolio. But if you are a friend who is in pre-K or kindergarten or at the beginning of first grade, you cannot read that.
Three-dimensional shapes like cylinders, cubes, cones, and rectangular prisms.
That teacher recorded her voice giving the instructions. Think that's powerful for those little ones? Absolutely. So now, go ahead and click Add Response. And you are going to choose which student you are, so you're going to pick your number. This is where that's going to be important. So choose your number. But if a kid picks a friend's name, you can easily change that. Like super easy. We'll look at how that's done. I'm just going to, whoever's lucky number 39, I picked you. Okay. So here's what you're going to do. You are going to click Photo. And your built-in camera will pop up. And if your built-in camera does not pop up, that means you probably need to give permission for your camera to be used. Take a picture of your 3D shape.
And what we can do is, by default, have it where students can't see each other's. So when they post student work, they can only post it to their own.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's, if you turn off students can see each other's work at the beginning, then I don't think they can post to anything but their own.
Well, that's true. Then they can't collaborate.
Right, but I would start with that.
Okay.
Maybe just to kind of help their brains.
Oh, okay.
As well as the little ones to kind of get.
Do you want me to go into my settings and do that right now?
It's up. No, you don't have to. You can just tell them.
Oh, okay.
That's what we can do to kind of help ease into this.
Okay.
That's what my idea.
All right.
Okay.
So did everybody get their picture? Wasn't that, oh, Miss Cindy? Oh, no. You sure are. Okay, so where's your mouse, friend? You really are frozen. That is a Joshua or John question. I don't really know, but we'll get Joshua back here.
Let's try. Do you know the media
Okay.
password by any chance?
Does everybody have their picture of their cylinder?
No, I meant the media center.
Everybody has their
I think
picture?
this access point's overloaded.
I have my picture of my cylinder
Oh, never mind.
or whatever solid shape
Oh, it's pushing
you
a signal,
chose.
but I didn't know.
All
wanted to
right.
give her
So
something
then
wasn't,
students are going to tap this green check, but don't do it. Don't do it.
It is.
Not yet.
It's overloaded in here, I think.
I want to show you something. I want to show you something in here that, you know, like Oprah says, you get one and you get one and you get one. Joshua said, you get Seesaw and you get Seesaw and you get Seesaw. If you've been using Seesaw before, you could only put one something up here. But now, because we have Seesaw for Schools, see this Add Page button? You can click on that Add Page button, and you don't have the Add Page button. Oh, yeah. So up at the top, you see 1/1. Top right, 1/1.
Check that out. How did you do that? Wow.
Do you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, so then you can add
No
page,
way.
and they can add a different three-dimensional shape.
That will probably not.
Then
be
you can
on
add
by
as many
default.
pages, up to 20,
What?
as you want, and they can just
Yeah.
keep adding.
I just asked her. I just told her. I said I would recommend.
Oh, I
getting
hear
turned
some
off to everybody
O's.
at the beginning because it's a little brain
Oh.
overload. Thinking about
Oh.
each kid seeing each kid's. So we'll
All
probably
right.
have that off at the beginning.
Are you okay, Jamie Ricketts? Okay. Yep. All right, so here's what we're going to do. Now I want you to tap that green check. Tap that green check. And you have just put that in your journal. You have just put that in your journal. Now, Joshua suggests, and I have to agree with him, that at first, in your settings, maybe go ahead and turn off that students can see each other's work. because it'll be a lot less confusing that way, because they'll be able to find their work really easily instead of in the big long list of everybody's work. Okay? Now, boom. Good job, friends. You all hit the green check. And you turned in your work. And do you know how I know you did that? Because look what popped up on my teacher computer. 39 unapproved posts. So now it's my job to go through and get the little red dot back to 0, right? There's our little red dot that bothers some of us. So I'm going to click review, and all of your work pops up. Look at that. Look at that. That's so good. That is so good. Oh, no. Okay, so I'm going to show you what can be done on this. And this is the only time I'm going to show you what can be done on this for time's sake. Okay, so pay good attention. So when I get a submission, I can do lots of things. I can like it, because that speaks to kids these days, right? How many likes do you have? Okay, so that speaks to kids these days. I can comment on it. I can comment on, great job, I wouldn't have thought about that. Or, you know, that's actually a two-dimensional shape because it has length and width but no height. I'm not talking about yours. I'm just talking about, you know, in general, if there was just a circle or a square on there. You can give feedback. Now, what about the kindergartners? They can't read what I say, but I can talk to them. I can record my voice telling them what I want them to know. Mom and Dad can do the very same thing, okay? So we're going to like and comment. I'm going to hit that X so we get back. I think it's like 5 minutes. I mean, it's like a long time limit. Yeah. Okay, so if that was just a rectangle, you know, and I'm like, you know, that's not exactly it, and I've left them a comment, I'm going to send back. You see that send back button? Because they need to fix it. But you can do better than that. I need you to go find a 3D shape. We've been going over this for 4 weeks now. And so you're going to send that back, right? But if they did a great job, you're going to approve it. But if it's Ina, and she has just gotten in there and decided that she is just going to send everything, you're just going to hit that delete button, and she's going to forget about it anyway, and so it's fine. And so I had to hit that delete button sometimes. Now, on here, the 3 little dots are going to be our friend. So let's say, here's our 3 little dots. And we have control with the 3 little dots, right? And so we're going to click on that because this was not actually student 12. She put it in student 12's, but that's not who it is. And so we're going to edit people. And that way we get to change it to student 13 when she accidentally hit the wrong thing. And we're going to change it to student 13. Sorry, student 12. We can change that. And so now it's going to change and go into the proper child so that mom and daddy don't get the wrong thing. So here's all of the different things that you can do. You can delete that item. You can edit that item, which means you can go in, and let's say that is a rectangle, and you want to give an example of a 3D shape. So you can go in and edit that item, and you can take a picture of yourself with a 3D shape and put it in their work so that they have a way to look at that and say, oh, that's what my teacher wanted me to do, right? Not all kids will need that, but some will. You can edit the people. You can edit the folders. Oh, edit people also works really well if students have worked together on something and forgot to tag each other or forgot to put it in each other's folder. You can go back and do that. You can edit the date that's on there, copy and edit the whole thing, which I'll show you why I use that. You can share that item. It's going to come up, you know, my Google Classroom friends, it's going to come up with a link that you can paste into Google Classroom. Let me tell you, it's not going to take you to the exact work submission or activity. It's just going to take you to SeaSaw right now, but they're working on that. You can save this item to your device. You can get an item QR code like, I don't know, I can see me using this in a center in first grade. If I upload myself reading a book, or I upload a word work activity, or I upload something that I want them to do, and they get their little iPad and they're going around doing their centers, they can click on my QR code and it immediately takes them to where I want them to be to complete that center. Does that make sense? So you kind of like dream about how you could use that, or you can print whatever the work submission is. It does not go into their journal until you approve it. Mom and dad don't see it until you approve it. So if you get work that's not so wow, then you don't have to send it. But I would encourage you not to, don't just send wow work. Like, we need to be transparent. Mom and dad need to know. They're missing this mark right now, but it's September, and when you see this in, March, you're going to see growth. We've got to be transparent about that. I do not like to be the deliverer of uncomfortable news, and so I've had to really grow in that regard because I only wanted mom and dad to see the best work because I felt like it reflected on me. And I felt like they judged me because of what was being produced. But that's not it. Like, we need to be partners. And so don't just feel pressure because your administrators are going to see this or because whoever's going to see this. You be authentic. And that's where the power is, in your authenticity. Okay, so remember, the 3 dots on any work submission is where your power is. Oh, has somebody sent me a message? No, that's just notifications. So when you go to your inbox, you have messages and you have notifications. And so it's going to tell me that you all want to add these items. So I can click, like, if I have been waiting on something from a child, I can go and I can just click on that, and not have to weed through everything because I don't have time. So, okay. So that was posting a photo. Did that feel okay? Does that feel overwhelming? I posted photos of their writing. I posted photos of when Julie Whitefield would come into my room and do the child find lessons. I posted photos of field day. I posted photos of Tiger Awards. I posted photos of and videos of them and a partner trying to figure out a math equation. Just whatever mom and dad can see. It just helps them to feel connected. All right. Next on the agenda, go back to your activities tab. You guys are doing a really great job. Y'all pump me up. Okay, so the activities tab has activity 2. This is our second We Do activity, Get to Know You. You drew a picture of yourself, and if you didn't draw a picture of yourself, that's okay. But you're going to go through the same motions every time. You're going to tap Add Response. You're going to take a photo of your drawing. This time, we're going to add another layer. You're going to tap the mic and tell us all about you. Then you're going to tap the check and add it to your journal. Now, this is going to sound like a lot of white noise because we'll all talk at the same time. But still, it'll show you how to use it. So go ahead and tell us about yourself, and I will look forward to your submission.
This is me.
So you need to take your picture, and then on another page, self-portrait looks like a prisoner.
Like this recording.
How do you
If I didn't like
stop it?
Yeah.
Okay. Say
I'm gonna take everything I said
click
off.
X. Do the X. And say
Okay, thank
exit
you.
recording. All right, now you can start again. Okay. So you tap it,
I'll do it.
and then you. Okay. I like the body. Yeah.
Is there a way that they only have themselves?
Yeah,
like,
they'll only have themselves.
okay.
We are
So
just in
when
this
they're
PD
one-to-one
session.
and they're doing it
Yeah.
through Clever, it'll just be them.
Right, and they can't post it as somebody else. They'll only post themselves. Yeah, we're just in this weird. Right. Yeah, it's going to be a lot easier. But in this PD session, it's just the way that we're doing it. All right, you already posted something?
Yes.
Okay, let's go to your journal. Let's see if it's on yours. And find your number.
And then they were like,
Oh,
what do I do? And they needed to look back.
posted
And
already.
so I want to show you
I don't know.
what to do when that happens. So, how weird is that, right? I want to show you what to do.
On my didn't come on. Okay,
See
you're
at
a
the
Mac.
top it says view
You try it again
instructions.
if you want.
You can view
Let me see
the
what's going on.
instructions again without getting out of the activity.
I just
Can
picked
you
the photo.
see times when that would probably be really helpful?
That's what I did earlier.
Like just
We'll
now?
try it.
All right.
There you go. Now I set the audio rate button. Let's see what it does. Okay, say it loud.
Okay. Yeah, I just didn't see that.
Oh, okay, okay. No problem. And yours, since you're on a Mac, it's a little different. There you go.
Well, you know what? I don't want to scroll down through there because that's a bunch of hodgepodge. So I'm going to go over here. Are we good now? Okay. All right. So I want to know in your classroom, with what you teach, how could you use the photo and voiceover capability? Say it loud. Be proud.
Reading their writing, because so some kids when they it might help them recognize, oh, I really missed out a whole lot of words here when they look at them when they're reading their writing.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll listen it back to it.
That is great. Yes. I hope we all took that nugget away. Yes. How else? Yes. And what's really cool is I don't know how much time you want to devote to this, but if all the title teachers use the same text, then it's something that could be scanned in and uploaded to Seesaw, and then kids could read it on Seesaw, but it could be that shared collaboration where you guys just have it in the school library or in the district library, and you just grab that reading passage, you know? Yeah, so thank you for adding that, Jamie. Right. Absolutely. Now, I will say if you're using this for portfolio for the state of Tennessee purposes, I don't know how great the quality is going to be when you re-download it from Seesaw to upload it to our platform or whatever. So I wouldn't put my eggs in that basket until you listen to it. Right. Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. And these are like really great. See, that's why I want us to work together on this. What else? How else could you use the photo and voiceover? Okay. All right. Are there any white elephants we need to dispel before we jump into activity 3? No? All right. No, those are just the icon. That's just how the icon popped up. That you could personalize these. They could be pictures of all of your children if you want to take the time to do that. Like, no. Like, I'm going to call Christy Wills out. Like, she is super personalized in everything that she does in her classroom. It's amazing. I can see her taking photos of all of her kids and putting it there. You know, like, I didn't. I just took the little, I just had like, oh, they're not on my shirt. They're on my other shirt. The little Seesaw characters. They're just like little cartoon characters because that was just not something that I did at the beginning of the year. But you can have anything there. I mean, and then the older kids, they can choose their icon if they want Avengers over there. You know, it's whatever you want, however far you want to take it. All right, so no white elephants before we jump into activity 3. Okay, yep. That is a beautiful, beautiful thing to ask. Thank you for bringing that up. No, you do not. I am so happy that you asked that. I will go back to my activities tab. And then again, it doesn't tell me like the blue folder over here. I didn't even know. You wouldn't even know that there's magic in here, right? So you're going to click right here on this grayed out bar, right up there. And look what pops up. Look at all of that. Oh, for shame. Look at all those friends that didn't turn their work in. Oh. But here's Ina's over here. They've got it. All the Inas have it. So I can click on that one child's from there, and I can just review that. There is also a button that is beautiful, and it says Approve All. So if you are not wanting to go through every work submission and like and comment because you only want to do that once every couple of days, but you've seen them all and you know they're all appropriate, just hit that Approve All button. It's fabulous. Look, see, it's right down here. Approve All. And then the red dot goes away. That was a wonderful question. Keep them coming. You know, I can once I figure out how to get out of this one. Okay. Oh, okay. That is in their journals. Mm-hmm. Yep. No, it depends on how they're logged in. Okay, so if they use the QR code, they are going to have to click their name to put it in their folder. But if they use through Clever, their Clever login, it knows who it is. And so they don't have to. Yeah. But my. Yes. Maybe, or if you're like doing an intervention group, like an RTI group, you know, right, if you have a subgroup, yeah, yeah. So, and some of this is kind of new to me because I'm used to having to do it all myself, and I'm used to having to manipulate how are they going to get in, and I'm not used to Joshua like being granddaddy up here taking care of everything, you know. So I'm trying to figure out my footing on that too. Somebody had a hand. Yes, yes, yes. Because we have Seesaw for Schools, you have a private folder. I'm just going to click on number 11 here, the little folder icon over here. Okay. It's not coming up very pretty, but see that lock up there? That's the teacher-only private folder. The only thing that I found that I'm like, I really wish it did. I really wish that I was able to put different folders in my private teacher folder. You know, I can't do that, but it is private to every student. I can see like if we're working towards something, but we're not there yet, I might put it in my private teacher folder so that it doesn't give parents that feeling of, oh no, she's behind. But then when it comes time to conference about it, I can bring that out and then have the newest submission to show growth, so it's not that, oh my goodness, feeling. You know, so, but then that's only one. Like I can see all of you coming up with 40 different ways to use it, and all 40 ways would be perfect. So, you do you, boo. All right, so are we ready to move on to activity 3 of we do, and then I'm going to let you do. Okay, so activity 3, you go to your activities tab, and activity 3 Seesaw ideas for my class. Take a moment to reflect on everything you've learned in this session. You've seen ways Seesaw can enhance and support what you're already doing while saving you time. So tap the Add button. This T is the text tool. Use labels and drawings to show 3 Seesaw ideas for your class. Use the mic to explain what you're excited to try first. Tap the check to add to your portfolio. Share your ideas with a person sitting next to you. I want to show you something really cool. I wasn't going to do this, but now I think I am. So first you're going to go to the drawing. It didn't tell you that. Don't go to photo. I think. Nope, I was wrong. I was wrong. Oh, okay, well, yeah, go ahead and go to it. Apparently, I didn't bring over that templates, but that's a really good thing to talk about. So you see it right here. That doesn't mean that it's going to be in the student work. This is the teacher example. So sorry, I didn't bring that over into the student work. But I click on that teacher example to enlarge it. And if I had brought it over to the student work, you would have been able to annotate on top of it. So just go to your add response and then go to drawing, like I initially said. I want to show you some things in here. There might be people in here that like to make things pretty, okay? So the 3 dots, right? 3 dots are our friend. You can go to background, and you can make this whole background a pretty color. I mean, does that not just say, ooh, I want to do more? And then you can take the text tool, and just for the sake of this, I'm just going to type hello. But in my text tool, I also have 3 dots. And the reason I'm telling you this is I want you to be able to be creative from the get-go. Click on those 3 dots and look at the choices it gives you. Style, that's going to be your font. Order, that's like think Google Slides when you send something forward or backward. You can do that. Lock, that way it can't be moved. Duplicate. Duplicate is going to be really good to use when you size something the exact way that you want it. and you want more of that and you don't want to have to take the time to size it, you just duplicate it over and over or delete. You can right align, or you can center, or you can left align. Some of these fonts are really cool and fun. You can use those. That's the 3 dots. If you get into a place where you're like, oh my gosh, like I can't click on the word, see this hand tool down here? Click on your hand tool and then click the word again. And you'll be able to get right back to it. One last thing that's super cool. See this up here? I love that because I can be so fun and I can rotate my words. I can rotate words, I can rotate shapes. You could have rotated that picture of you with your solid shape. You can rotate anything and it just makes it so much more fun, right? So you have your text tool where you're going to type your 3 things, your microphone tool, your photo tool where you can take another photo of yourself if you want, being so excited about SeaSaw, and put it on there, or you can upload a photo from your machine or Google Drive. Now, the one thing that we haven't talked about is this add voice caption down here. On one of Joshua's videos, he kind of talked to you about how to voice over, but the thing about voiceovering is it takes over your whole submission, and the only time that you can hear your voice is when you press play, and you can't really see the submission unless you press play. A solution to that is voice caption. If you have something you want to say about that, but you don't want it to turn into an audio type situation, you can teach them to put it down here in the voice caption. And that way, I can see this being used if maybe there's some equations up here and then they want to tell about the equations without solving them or in front of you or something like that. So anyway, take off with that. I'm going to set my timer for 5 minutes. Remember, if you forget what you're supposed to do, you can go at the very top to view instructions and it's going to tell you again. Okay? 5 minutes, 3 SeaSaw ideas for your class. Font smaller and larger. So, yeah. I'm so sorry. What? So the microphone allows you to, we'll delete it, okay? So the microphone is going to allow you to annotate over it while you talk about it. It's going to allow you to grab the cursor tool and you're going to move that around to tell your teacher what's going on.
Like this will be the one thing I'm excited about the most, and I can point to that.
Yep. So I'm going to click done though, and then we don't want that. So I am, yeah. Well, I don't know if that's going
It
to
should
trash
just
the whole
trash, yeah.
thing. No, we don't want to do that. So that's okay. I'll re-record. Oh, there you go. I just re-record. And then you have to press that again. You have to press the mic again.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then this just.
And that caption is just if you want to say something about what you put up there.
Okay.
You know, maybe you want to tell your teacher a little bit more.
Okay.
We've got 1 minute, 40 seconds. It's okay if you don't get it perfect. It's the idea, really, more than anything else. Yes, they can. So when you submit, I have to approve it first. Yep, and then they can edit it. And even after I approve it, say I loved it, and I approved it, but Ina wants to edit her work. If I have turned on that capability, she can go back into any item and she can edit it. When she edits it, though, I know about it because it comes back to me for approval. Yeah. I love that child. I will miss her. Jenny Mason told me. She warned me. She was right. Is Ina what? I really don't know. Her mom posted something on Facebook about wondering what everybody else was going to be doing, but she never said what she was going to be doing. So I don't know. $20 until you hit that green check, no matter what. I know it's like so hard because it's not what you wanted. Four, two, done. Hit that green check for me so we can move on because we are running out of time. But I want to know, what just happened for you? Did anything click, or are you thinking of ideas of how you could use it with your kids? What just happened for you? Okay. Can you see how this opens it up for your students to respond to you in the way that feels comfortable to them? Yeah, for sure. Did anybody have an aha moment of, this isn't really that bad. If I can do it, they can do it? Yeah? Well, good. Well, I will say, just like a funny little side comment, so at church, we're kind of branching off and starting up our own thing, and so we have to send proposals to people, right? And so we have to propose this and propose it. So you do that in a Google Doc. And so after spending 3 months in SeaSaw, where I could put pretty backgrounds on everything that I did, when I went to just type on that white page in black letters, I was like, this is so wrong. This is so boring. So you might have that moment too if you use this a lot where you're like, I need a background. Where's my 3 dots? But anyway, so that was the conclusion of the we do portion. Here's what's going to happen now. I have 6 stations around the room. And I'm going to find where I have on here. Here we go. I have 6 stations around the room. And beside each station, somewhere near each station, I have a poster that has what station it is and kind of just what tools are being used. And here's what I want you to do. I'm not going to number you off. I just want you to take some time to visit each of the 6 stations. And I thought I was going to have 35 friends, but there's more friends in here than just 35 today. And so we're just going to have to be patient with one another. And if there's somebody at the station you want to try out, just go back to it when you can. But I'm going to put some markers at each station. And when you try out each station, there are directions on each table. When you try out each station and you get some ideas about how you could use this in your real life classroom, would you jot it down on those posters for the good of all of us? And if it's something that you think maybe only would apply to K2 or only 3-5, just annotate that somewhere. There is no wrong thing to put on these posters. If you figured out a tip that you think could help everybody, I want you to put it on there. If you figure out, I could use this with standard blah, 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 put that on there. I want all of us to leave today having collaborated with one another on how can we make this usable when we go back, okay? After we do the you do portion, we'll debrief on it a little bit, and I'm actually only going to, I wanted to be able to give an hour to this, but because I talked too much, we only have an hour left. So I'm going to devote 30 minutes to the you do, and then I want us all to come back together for the last 30 minutes to talk about the activities, how you pull them from the libraries, how you make them yourself, how you edit something that you pulled from the library, because I think that's really going to be very important for everybody, okay? So I'm going to put 30 minutes up here, and you float around as you want. I'll bring markers, and you let me know what you need, okay? You are still a student. I know. Are you overwhelmed?
Yes and no.
Can we can we still be friends?
Yeah. I need you more than ever.
It's gonna be good. How's sweet potato? Have you been out on any in public dates since that first one?
Just like
I just need to shoot some confidence up in. I got my daughter on that new TV show that we like. So funny. So funny. It's the best. She said, Mother, I can't believe you watched that. I said, Sweetheart, I have a brand new friend. Her name is Jamie, and she's leading me down the garden path.
oh my word.
If I bring us back, if I just do an example of a Google Classroom versus Seesaw.
Yes,
here, real quick.
please.
Okay.
Do you want? We've got 24 seconds.
Oh, 20. I'm so sorry.
I mean, sorry. Hey, are you wearing your thing? Do you need my thing? Will the people there be able to hear it? Okay. All right, finish up those amazing conversations.
3, 2, 1. All right, welcome back. Welcome back. There it is. As we come back together, I just want to interject a situation we just had over here, a very good learning experience to be able to share with the group. I had a couple of questions about if I am using Seesaw and I'm using Google Classroom. Why would I use Google Classroom? Why would I use Seesaw? What's the difference in there? And we just had a scenario in which we were looking at a real example in Google Classroom. And what does that same idea, that same objective look like over in Seesaw? So I'm going to ask these two ladies just to share a little bit about your perception. What's the difference of taking that one document that is in Google Drive, right? It's a slide they prepared. It's a math assignment. And will you tell us now what is the difference, from your opinion, from the Google Classroom versus Seesaw?
Well, Libby and I have been working over the summer digitizing a lot of our math workbook pages and to make them where they can type on them and things like that. So if we do go back to home, we can still have some of the same workbook pages if we wanted it to. Because for me last year and previous years, Sync Central has just not worked. The logins always mess up for me. So we said we're going to do our own. Anyway, if Google Classroom, we made them have editable boxes, with the Google Slides and things like that, and they can type in their answers. But when we pulled it into Seesaw, they can do the text boxes, they can do the drawing ones, because there's drawing questions on like our workbook page and stuff. That way they can go ahead and draw on them and things like that, and circle and talk and do the explaining questions all in one form, whereas if it's just Google Classroom, they don't have all those capabilities.
Right.
That's what I saw.
Okay. Excellent. And so here's another thing that I want to add, because she just made an activity. Now when she's done, she has the option to share that in her school. So if we have some kind of consistent grading scheme, like second grade?
Yeah.
Okay. We could do like second grade math, chapter 4, lesson 1, or whatever. And she shares that in her school, that other teachers in her grade level can use that same activity. They don't have to reinvent the wheel. If she wants to share that district-wide, then teachers can use that same activity. So I just want you to see that as we start building these activities and we start kind of thinking, all right, I have this objective and I put it in Seesaw, I have all these tools that wrap around it, these supports. And if you want to use Google Classroom, use Google Classroom. If you only want to use Seesaw, then just use Seesaw. You're going to get to the same point, probably. It's just what is your comfort level. I think there's a place. So if you are not in love with Google Classroom and you like what you see in Seesaw, it's okay if you do just Seesaw. Okay? Because it is also the communication piece and everything bundled into one, that's going to be okay. But if you love Google Classroom and you have features that you really want to continue to embrace over there, that's all right as well. I just see them coming together nicely. Thank you for sharing that.
Well, and I just want to kind of add to that. Over the remote teaching time, of course, all I had was PDFs and worksheets and things like that if I wanted to use something that I had used before. I know that Fitness and Fluency, has anybody ever used their like PowerPoint? Yeah, Christy Wills shared it with me. Like there's a Fitness and Fluency, and like I wanted them to practice their nonsense words, and so I just uploaded the whole Fitness and Fluency slide, and they would click on each slide in Seesaw, and they would read that word, or they would do something associated with that word. I used, we were working on digraphs, and so I would take, and I'll try to show you some stuff. And if anybody ever wants to get together, I'll be glad to get together on like just practical, how did you do this? But there are shape tools in Seesaw, so I would have the fitness and fluency slides, and then I would take the shape tool, like I'm thinking right now we did an AU, AW, and I covered up the AU or the AW, and then they had to decide, do I use AU or do I use AW? They would write it and then get their hand tool and move that slide to see if they were correct, or move that square to see if they were correct. So it was easy to do some self-assessment in there because I wasn't there to self-assess with them. But here's what I want you to do now. We've got to go quick. So I want you to go in the upper left and click on where you're a student, and I want you to log out as the student and log back in as the teacher. So you're going to sign out as the student, and I want you can go back through Clever to log back into your teacher account. Can they go, if it asks them to sign in through Google, can they do that and reach the same goal? Okay. Okay. So try, for Morgan, the Google thing worked, but go back to be a teacher. And let's talk about these activities. So in the middle of your table, you have this right here. And it's got 5 levels, and we talked about that. So level 1 was set up and get familiar with your Seesaw class. Joshua set it all up for us. Today we got familiar with it, so level 1, check. Level 2, getting started. See classroom ideas for integrating Seesaw and practice bringing them to life with photo and voice. Start posting in your class. Once you get students, you can post in your class, but today you learned how to use all of these tools. Level 3 is where we all want to land today, and if you don't, that's okay. If you want us to go over this some more, just you and myself or Joshua can definitely help, or we're going to have Seesaw experts popping up all over the place. Utilize the people in your school building. We want to land on level 3, create with students. Help students create with Seesaw. Explore tips to enhance your lessons and simple Seesaw tools and become proficient, communicate with families. This is where we want to be, and I feel like we're all there. And so if you're here on level 3, success. I want to move forward to level 4 for those friends who feel ready. If you want to stay here on level 3, that's okay. If you want to just post work that your kids have done this year and you don't want to jump into this activities portion, it is not necessary that you do. But for the friends who want to, let's go to 4, where we explore formative insight tools. We share activities and communicate consistently with families. So here's how you do this. And I don't want anybody to say, oh my goodness. Not allowed to say that, okay? It's okay. And I want to tell you, I was scared to do this when I started in 2018. And so I didn't. But I could have, because they're using the very same tools. It's just an extra step for me. So go to your activities tab, and you will not have this because this is my activities. In fact, I'm going to go to my class of 2031. I'm going to go to my activities tab. You see you have 3 choices right here. These are folders, okay? Assigned to class. These are things that you have already assigned. Scheduled. Every Sunday, I would schedule my whole week of activities because during the week, I had to teach my own kids, right? Camden's just not that motivated when his Xbox is an option. So I had to keep focused on them. So I scheduled all of my activities for that day to drop at 8 a.m. for every student in my class. That was a godsend to me. Archived means we've already done that. And I don't want it to go away because I might want to pull from it again. We've already done that. So I archived the activity. So the way you find activities, go to your Browse Activity Library. Up at the top should pop these options. Community, think world, think all the teachers that use Seesaw anywhere. Okay, that's the community. But only Seesaw ambassadors and Seesaw certified educators are allowed to share. So you're not getting just anything. You're getting from Seesaw ambassadors and certified educators, and it takes a year to 3 years to reach those statuses. You have school and district, so this is where we'll share with LSSD and across our different schools, okay? Uh-oh, sorry. Yeah. And then you have My Library, which is just activities that you want to use. So I want to play around in the community library just real quick. So go back to that community tab. Hey, Joshua, Miss Mary is having trouble getting to her teacher account. Did you create one for her? Okay. 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 So on here, see where it says first grade for me? That is a tab to filter by grade level. So choose your grade level. I'm back under community. Then you can choose your subject. Say you want to do something in first grade math. Okay? All of these math activities pop up. See these little hearts? 41,847 likes. That's a quality activity. You're going to see things with like 390. That's probably not something you want to spend your time on, okay? So that's how you decide, what do I want to use? Now, I want to use, in first grade math, I want to focus on tens and ones. So in that search bar, I'm going to type tens and ones. And look, I typed tens and ones, but look what comes up, place value. So it's intuitive. It's very intuitive. Now, I'm just going to click on this first one. You click on whatever you have. Oh, that's a bad example because I've already liked that. Okay, so this does not have the little heart in pink. If I want to add it to my library and use it, I've got to click the little heart in pink. Now it's in my library, so if I go to my library tab, it's going to be there. Okay? But I don't have to go to my library tab. I can assign this. See that assign button? I clicked on the heart because if I don't click on that, then I can't edit that activity the way I want to edit it to use it. Yeah. Okay. So then I'm going to assign the activity. And guys, this is like something I wish somebody would have told me. So listen closely to this little nugget. When I assign activity and I pick my class, I'm going to pick the class of 2031 because that's what we're working in right now. And then see over here where it says Edit Student Folders and Skills. Click on that, and I can choose what students get this. Maybe I want all of them to get it, or maybe I'm working with reading groups and I only want 4 of them to get it. Okay, folders, this is where you choose the folder for them. This is math, so I'm going to click on my folders, and I'll come down here and choose the math folder for them. That takes the guesswork out of it for them. And then skills, this is where when Joshua and his team get all of the standards loaded, they're going to have quick keys. So you're going to type 1.0A and boom, all the OA standards are going to pop up and you're going to click the one that you want to use. Okay? So that's going to be really nice. You do that in the assign activity. If you don't do that in the assign activity and you decide later you want to do that, it's more of a hassle. So that's why I want you to see to do it right here. Now, reading groups. This is a Seesaw hack that I learned from a Facebook page. The Facebook pages are where I've learned most of my practical applications because teachers just keep it real, right? And they just keep it real. This is frustrating to me. It's not working right. How can I get around this? And then you have 50 teachers, because they keep it real, but they're helpful. We want to let everybody know what we've learned. And so they tell you how to make it better. When you're doing groups, when you have your students, if you like to only assign and differentiate to a reading group or a math group, put a number in front of those kids. 1, 1, 1, 1 in front of these 4 kids. And that way, when you go to select the kids, you don't have an alphabetized list of names and you have to remember who's in what group. All the 1s are going to be together. All the 2s are going to be together. All the 3s are going to be together. Now, if you are like rocking small groups and you've got math small groups and writing small groups and reading small groups, you're going to have to decide which group, what am I going to tie this to? But that just makes your life easier, and it makes it less of a headache when you go to differentiate and assign. They see the 1s and the 2s and the 3s, but they don't have to know why it's there. And you don't even have to use 1s and 2s and 3s. You could have an icon. It's just going to group the similar things together. You could have, in parentheses, the Eagles, Patty Anderson. And it's going to group all the Eagles together. You know what I'm saying? But just something to group everyone together. Okay, so let's assign an activity. You go ahead, and you do have a class. They can assign an activity. It just won't go to kids. Okay, yeah, just assign an activity to one of your classes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you just filter whatever you want. Yeah. Okay, so I do want to show you this. I've clicked on Class of 2031, and I'm going to click on this word schedule. I've already changed my folders and skills. I can assign immediately, or I can assign on a specific date and time, and that's how I had everything drop at 8 a.m. on the dot. So just whatever you do, friends, I was working on lessons at 11 p.m. on a Sunday night. And so when I put, you notice this says 10:40 something, whatever time it is now. It's going to default to the time that it is now, and it says p.m. or a.m. right now. But at 11 o'clock on a Sunday night, it said p.m. And so I put 8, and I forgot to change that because I was working at night. It said p.m. So everything dropped at 8 p.m., and I'm like trying to go through why? And parents are like, it's not there. And I'm like, I know it. I'm sorry. But anyway, just make sure that you change that if you're working at night and you want it to drop in the morning. All right, so we'll assign that to one class. This activity is assigned. It cannot be changed. Your students are going to find it under their activity tab. If you go in the top right, it says back to class. You're going to get out of your library like that. You're going to click back to class, and it's going to take you back to that screen that we're all familiar with, and you should see your assignment that you just assigned. You see where the kids can add response. Let's go to the 3 dots, and let's see what our choices are. We can get activity link. Okay, that's for if we're going to use Google Classroom or we're going to share it on some other kind of media. We can edit the activity. So let's say this was not exactly what I wanted, or I wanted to add my own voice, maybe giving these instructions and get rid of that teacher's voice because they don't know her. I can do that right there. I can also see it says template attached. I can edit that template right there. I can edit where this is, who it's assigned to. Down here, there's more options. I can put teacher notes. So when you create an activity, it's helpful to put some teacher notes down there. Like at the end of the school year, I had scratch-offs that we did. Really cool. When we get into like level 5, and some people want some level 5 application of this, come see me, and we'll talk about how to make all of these really cool things. But there were some scratch-offs. So I took a Google slide. I imported it into SeaSaw, so it's like a PDF at this point. I colored over the sun that had text on it. And I forgot what was on what day. And so in the teacher notes, I just said, day 2, send a hug to your teacher. And that like reminded me, oh yeah, that's what they're going to do. So that I didn't have to go back into the activity, erase, figure out what is it that we're doing. This is where you can edit folders and things like that too. So it's just that extra step. Now, one thing I do want to say, Seesaw, you see all these really cool like text, you know, the T and the pencil and the green check and things like that. I never used that, ever. I'm not saying I won't ever use it or that it's bad to use it, but I never used that because that just took more time to put in the parentheses. But there are codes for if you want to give directions like that, you can. But I want to show you what I have. So after you get in your library, I'm going to go to my library. You can go to yours too, but there should only be one activity there. See where it says My Collections? These are your folders where you are going to be able to house and organize the activities that you have put into your library. So let's just see. What do I have? In first grade, we would do pumpkin jack. And so here are my pumpkin jack activities that I want to assign to next year's children. But I don't want to have to go back and look them all up again. I just want them to be there in my library. So there's where we're going to label the pumpkin life cycle, and there's Spookly, the square pumpkin. So that's where it gets read to them, and then they respond to that. And that was in my library. It's in my library, and you scroll all the way down to the bottom. I don't know if you can share a whole collection, but I'm about to show you how to share your activities. Yeah, but that's something that we can all just figure out together. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to click on my activity, and then I'll go down to my 3 dots. So your activity that you have in your library, play with it. Click on it. Click your 3 dots. You can add it to a collection, so that's where we're going to organize it in our folders for next year. You can copy and edit the activity. This is what I would use if I liked some of what the teacher did, but I didn't like all of what the teacher did. I would just copy and edit the whole thing and then make it my own. Remove it from my library. I tried that, and it wasn't as successful as I thought it was going to be, so I'm going to take that out. Or share activity. This is what everybody's been wondering about. Click on Share Activity. So when you share an activity, it's the very top choice. You click Share. And I have a choice on how do I want to share that. This is where it's going to share to. Lebanon Special School District, Sam Houston Elementary. I can click on it, and I can uncheck either one of those. So let's say I want to share it with my other first grade teachers at Sam Houston, but I don't think it's for the good of the whole. I'm going to uncheck Lebanon Special, and it will not send it to Byers, Coles Ferry, and Castle Heights. So you just make that decision on what you want to do. You can email a link to teachers. I've emailed it. Yeah, it's under those 3 little dots. You can share it on social media. A lot of teachers will do that to these groups, these Facebook groups that I was telling you about, Get Activity Link and Get Activity Embedded Code. You do all of that under the 3 dots and the Share Activity. Yeah, and then once we share the activity, I'm just going to go ahead and share this, and then I'll remove it. But let's see how it works. I'm going to share it to the district and share it to the school. My activity has been submitted. So then I'm going to go to my school and district, and there it is, because I just shared it with everybody. Well, let's see. It's got Miss Guthrie's name right now. No, hang on. Shared to. No, I don't see anything right now, but that doesn't mean you can't. Yeah. Okay, so the very last thing I want to leave you with, for those of you who are really excited about jumping in and creating your own activities like is going on over here, when you are in my library, You click on Create New Activity. Okay? This is where you will create the activity that you want for your students. You put the title of your activity, you type your instructions. I would always read verbatim whatever I typed. Adding multimedia, you have the same options that the kids have. So if you're comfortable with their tools, that's the tools you use too. And I want you to know, when you make something in Google Slides or something like that, you can publish to the web. It's a whole nother level 5 like type situation, so don't panic. I just learned how to do it. You publish to the web, and it's going to give you a link, and that's when you would upload the link right there, and that really cool thing that you just made in Google Slides is now on here for the kids to annotate and use. Okay? So you can upload templates like for this. Remember, this says add multimedia instructions or example. This is not what the kids annotate over. So remember that snafu I had earlier where you didn't have the template, but it was in the instructions? Okay, if you want the same thing in the instructions as you want the kids to annotate over, you have to put it both places. Okay, so in here, I would normally put a link to like a book being read on SafeTube, like I would convert to SafeTube. I would put a link so they would click on the picture in the example and listen to the book being read, and then I would have the template down here for them to respond on. Okay? I wish we had time for me to share with you some responses. Trust me, they're amazing. The main thing I used here is the drawing, where I created backgrounds and shapes and all kinds of things. Just a simple question about responding. Tell me a time that you felt like that. And then they tell you a time on here. Okay? So correct. Yeah. Yeah. But here's the thing though, if you're uploading like that, you can't go to the drawing first. You go to the upload first and you upload it, and it puts it in the drawing. And then you can draw on top of it. I want to tell you 2 really cool things that are coming I'm really pumped about is that right now when you put a video in there, that's the only thing on the page. But they're about to come out where you can embed videos on any page. And did anybody play with the text tool to make it smaller, or the text to make it smaller and larger, and pictures to make them smaller and larger? You're going to be able to do that with your videos too. So I'm thinking about, as a teacher, I might record myself giving directions, or I might record myself giving some tips or hints or remember this, and I embed that tiny video on that page that they're going to annotate over and create over. So my instructions, and I am right there with them while they're working. Another really cool thing is any shape, any picture you upload, any document you upload, anything you upload is about to be able to have a link embedded in it. You know how when we are on our Google Docs and we highlight it and we click the little link button and we can link something to it? You're about to be able to do that in SeaSaw too. They're rolling that out. So cool things are coming. They listen to teachers. They listen to our feedback. They want to know what we want to make it better for us and more usable for us. And I hope today you're leaving with a higher confidence and a higher comfort level than you had when you came in. I'm leaving your posters up. I walked around. I saw what you wrote. You guys are on target. I'm leaving them up for the next session to add to it. And then I will take pictures and I will email them all out to everybody. Okay? All right. Thank you for coming. Thank you. And email me if you ever have any questions or need anything. Okay.